No live tweeting during the press conference. We'll do broadcast first and we'll go to Britain after. So we'll start with Daniel at Sky, please, mate.
Afternoon, Steve.
Daniel, how are you?
Good, thank you. How are the team looking, first of all, team-wise?
Daniel, sorry. Daniel,
again, no.
I know what's coming. I hope.
Try again. Steve, how are the team looking ahead of the trip to Mali this weekend?
Yeah, good in terms of recovering from the game on Monday night. No injuries and a few days on the training pitch and preparations going fine. So we're looking forward to playing again.
Leave it to your first meeting against Wolves as a manager. Looking forward to playing them, and what have you made of them this season?
Yeah, they're like all of these games that you play in this league. They are full of talented players and styles of play, etc. And Wolves are a good example of that. There's some really good creative players. Some that have been at the club a long time now, so they're sort of fully embedded in what they've been doing there over the years. And yeah, it's away from home, and opposition crowd and all that's going to be a really tough game. But we, as always, have got to focus on ourselves and think about what our contribution can look like in the game, and do our best to make that a positive contribution to give us a positive outcome. And that's really where our preparation lies.
And looking at yourselves, where do you feel you're at with the squad, and do you feel like you're closer to achieving that balance with, of course, all the new signings?
I don't think you'll ever get to where you want to be with the squad. There's always something that you want to improve on, or aspects of your game, or player areas, etc. But obviously, we've been in a tough run, and we're searching to try and get a win as soon as possible. So yeah, we've got a lot of work to do. There's no doubt about that. And I said that previous to the Villa game, and the Villa game was a little bit better. Far from being where we want it to be, but it was certainly better than previous games. So we've got to, as I said straight after the game, we've got to build on that now. We've got to harness it, what we felt was better in the game, and look to improve on that and keep adding good bits to our game. But that only comes with hard work. That only comes with commitment. That only comes with good decision making on the pitch, and good preparation as well. In the meantime, so we got a lot of work to do, but we're really committed to improving.
And there's a stat, Steve, around conceding goals from outside the box that's kind of gone around in the last 7 games. Is that just unlucky with great strikes, or is that something you have to...
No, it's to be fair. I mean, I know we conceded one the other night against Villa, but we were talking about it previously as well, because there's no doubt there's too many goals that have gone in from outside the box, and there's definitely ones where we can do better with, and there's definitely goals you're looking at and you're thinking that's great technique, great strike, which shows really the level of the league and the quality in the league. But at the same time, because of that, you've got to make sure that you manage them areas and a lot of other areas. But that's one that's going against us. So it was frustrating to see another one go in on Monday night, because it's something that we've talked about quite a lot, and we need to try and put us in. You're never going to put a complete stop to it, because including us, any team can score from distance. But for sure, that's something that we have to improve on. And again, we've got the Wolves who've got good ball strikers, players that have scored from distance before. So so we got to commit to improving that. But it's not the we've got to get better at conceding goals, but we've also got to get better or continue in some areas to keep going with a lot of other defending aspects in and around your box as well.
And just off the pitch, Steve, there's been reports around the head scout and head of recruitment leaving the club this week. Can you confirm that, and also tell us kind of why that's happened?
Well, there's been some changes. I can't really go into the why, because it's a club decision, and they've decided to do that. Of course, there's good communication with myself and around the club in terms of where the ownership and chief executive sporting director want to take things, and that's what they do. They make them decisions to try and progress the club. So it can always cause a little bit of talking points and upheaval when the club make changes. But my focus really has got to be on my job, which is coaching the team, preparing the team, managing the training ground to to try and make each day a good one, so that we can keep improving. And like I keep saying, we've got a lot of work to do. We've got to pick up our results. So that's really where my focus is.
And just finally on that, and for me as well, will we see, I suppose, a different strategy going forward with this new structure? And have you been part of that as well?
You mean on the with the recruitment and things like that? Again, that's something that that the people above me will make decisions on in terms of where they see that. My role is the head coach the team. As I said before, good communication amongst all levels of the club. I'm fully aware of exactly what they're thinking of doing, and I have no problem with that. But I go back to, I'm in control of today's training and meetings and players and trying to get ready for the next game.
Okay. Hi, Steve.
How are you?
Okay. How difficult is it to prepare for this game at Wolves? Bruno's gone, you've got two caretakers in charge. Does that make it slightly different because, you don't know systems and the way they play? They might just change things with the two caretakers in?
Well, it definitely, adds to the discussion points when you're preparing for a game for sure. And sometimes a change of manager and even while there's interim in charge can be a positive or negative thing. You never quite know. So yeah, there has been some discussion around that, but not too much, because like I said before, we've got to really focus on who we want to be as a team and how we want to approach and what we can contribute to the game. And okay, there might be a change of management at the moment, but there's not a big change in players. Very aware of the players that they have and the threats that they can cause in certain areas, but also we've got to think about how we can become a threat as well in the game. So more focus is really on what we do and how we work, how we prepare. Hoping that the fruits of that can come to light on Saturday. And I don't think that's who's in charge of our opponent will have a massive effect on how we play. We've really got to focus on that.
How pleasing was it the other night to show a lot of solidity defensively? You looked a lot more calmer and more composed in those defensive areas the other night when you were under pressure. You've got to take that forward now.
Definitely, and that's the challenge. I said it was important not to lose again. The six losses on the run. 5's not good, but 6 it would have been even worse, of course. So okay. It was one of them. If we wasn't going to win, don't get beat. And I felt that was important. And as you just alluded to there, some of the strategies how we went about that were good, came off, and but that's stuff that we wanted anyway in games, and maybe we hadn't been doing so well. But I've reminded the players we didn't win. We're still in the relegation zone. We still want to get out of there first and foremost. Let's look at what was better in the game, but let's not just not accept that that's what we want to be. We want to be more than that. We want more of the ball. We want to be more creative, but at the same time, we want to be hard to beat as well. And the challenge doesn't change now for the players. If anything, they've got to show that whatever was better in the game against Aston Villa, that we start at that level and look to improve. And there's no entitlement to that. There's no just because we did some bits okay in the last game we're going to do it. We've got to earn that, and I think that's the challenge now for this weekend for the boys.
Obviously there's been lots of talk about the new arrivals. A couple of those played the other night, and I wanted to mention them both actually, Serge Aurier and Emmanuel Dennis. How pleased were you with both their contributions? Yeah,
good. I mean, obviously Serge has only trained with us a couple of weeks. We just saw him before international break. Then he went on international duty, and to be fair, he got some minutes out there, which I felt was important. Some good training sessions. He's been able to train with us, since he's been back, and we managed to get him half a game against Leicester. So we needed to make a change there because we had a bit of a yellow card issue, and we didn't want to take any risks. But it ended up being a positive for him to get the match minutes under his belt because he's had no pre-season. And then obviously needing him then to start the game against Villa. And trusting his experience and his reliability in his game to get through what has been a bit of an accelerated programme, proved to be positive in the game. And we never thought he would play 90 minutes. You know, he's not up to that level at the moment physically, which is normal and natural for anybody. But it was a good step forward for him and for everyone to see him. And like I said, he brings good experience and leadership to the group, and he's been impressive, to be fair, both on and off the pitch since he's come in. For Dennis, first of all, great he scored. I think that's all these attacking players want to do first when they arrive and when they play any game. And I think he showed glimpses of what he can offer. He's had a bit of a frustrating time, Dennis, because he seems to have picked up a little, more than a few knocks that have just kept him out for a day or two and ruled himself maybe out of starting games. And he's actually carried a bit of a shoulder, which he did just before the international break, which ruled him out for a few weeks. And so he's been a bit unlucky in terms of putting a real training run together, getting some starts in the team and vying for a start in place. He hasn't been able to do that, but thankfully the last couple of weeks has been pretty clean in terms of injuries and setbacks, mini setbacks, and it was good to give him the start. And similar to Serge, he did some really good things, and especially the goal, and has offered us something now that we can really consider going forward.
And in the situation you're in, you mentioned Serge's leadership. You're going to need those types of characters in the next few weeks and months to get you where you want to be, aren't you? Definitely,
and there's different types of leadership. There's the classical leader that is the most vocal and can have effect on others. But also there's leaders that can take responsibility on the ball and can make good decisions and can make a difference in games. And we're going to, as you said, we're going to need all of that. We're going to need all of that within our group over the course of the season to help us, sort of stand up and be counted in competing and trying to succeed in this league. So, and that's part of the challenge is really finding out about these guys and what their characters are and how they deal with difficult moments, how they deal with good moments, and trying to understand what might be the best way to work with them so that you can get the best out of them, in the up and coming games and weeks. So, but for sure, back to your question, we're going to need players to really, in their way, be the strongest characters they can be. Because that's what it takes to succeed at the elite level, and ours is obviously now in the Premier League, and it's something that we're looking at carefully.
Brilliant. Best of luck for
you too. Thank you.
We hear a lot about identity from managers. I wonder, from the building blocks you've got, how close are you to having built Steve Cooper?
We're sort of, as I think I've said previously, we are not there for sure, but at the same time, it doesn't mean that we can't succeed in the next game. So we are working in a way that's really trying to prepare us give us the best chance of winning the next game. But we're also trying to do it in a way which is building, how we want to be, when everything's settled down and we have good connections amongst players and we've given enough time to go, okay, this is how we want to play. So both of them things are sort of side by side at the moment, which isn't normal, But I can't go, okay, we're going to build a way of playing, and then we're going to think about winning games. If anything, it's the opposite that's more important. So, but over the long term or medium term, you like to think you can win games through being who you are and how you play. But we're in the process of getting to that. So, but as I've said, it's a brilliant football challenge. It's a brilliant coaching challenge. It's a brilliant psychological challenge to deal with all of these things that are going on, all of these things that may or may not be being said about us and about me and about the team, and but it's one we are giving our best and looking forward to trying to succeed, and starts with the weekend.
Do you find yourself at sort of 3 a.m. with the jigsaw puzzle in your head?
No, I sleep well. No, it's normally 4, not 3. No, I sleep well. It's like I said, I see a really engaged, willing group of players, which sometimes isn't easy when you've been on a tough run or going through a tough run. We're still, really striving for the next win. There's no doubt about that. But we need to focus on how we win, not just chase the win. Because if we're just thinking about the result, then we're not thinking about the performance. Then I don't think that's the best way of getting that win. And we've just got to really think about, how we prepare, what the game plan is, what's needed from individuals, commitment to it, and then delivering on a match day. And that's what we're trying to do. And like I said, the only test to show that we're making progress is games. And the next one's Wolves. We're looking forward to it.
Right, thank you. Hi, Steve.
How you doing? You all right?
Yeah, good to you. Just a few follow-ups from me. I saw afterwards on Monday you described the draw and the defensive performance as a small step forward.
Yeah.
Have you been seeing more of those small steps through training this week?
Yeah. I think we quickly go back into work and we reviewed the game with the players. It was interesting to hear their feedback on it and how they felt it was being part of the game. And like I said, for anything that was a little bit better in the game, and I go back to we didn't win, we didn't sort of, we didn't look like we were going to win comfortably. It was a hard-fought game, two teams really, sort of having a go. But at the same time, for those who have watched us, there were certainly some parts of the game that was an improvement. Far from where we want to be, but it was an improvement, and we have to really focus on that. And like I said, don't take it for granted, even though however small the step was. Aim that we do our very best not to take a backward step now, particularly with our performance, because if we do that, then it gives us the best chance of winning. So that's been our work this week, while obviously thinking about what might be the best plan, best team, etc. for the next game against Wolves. And by the time that comes around, hopefully we've got it together and we're ready to deliver.
And on those little bits of improved performance you mentioned, have you noticed that there's been a little bit of a lift among the players or anything like that?
Well, like I said, we haven't enjoyed losing games, but I haven't seen a group of players shirking away from the situation. I haven't seen any players hiding. Normally, you tend to pick up some injuries and touch wood, that hasn't happened. Where when everything's going well and the team are winning, everyone wants to play through these little niggles and things like that. Sometimes the opposite when it's not going well, but I haven't seen any of that. I've seen a group of lads who really are giving their best and committing to improvement. And like I said, we've got to make sure that we put on the right work every day to get that improvement. And that's where we're at the moment, while trying to win the next game. So, like I said, it's a brilliant coaching football challenge for us all, and one we are determined to give our very best in succeeding.
Sure, there's still early days after all of the signings, much as we've made about that over the past few months.
Just a bit, yeah.
Are you starting to see some of the signs of, of course it's still early days, but little links? And
definitely, yeah, definitely, yeah. And sometimes it's a forward step and one back, but definitely starting to think of what connections may look like if they really get together. And yeah, for sure. And that's just an example of what I said before, of really trying to establish, what we want to become and how we go about it. So yeah, it's something we're looking at closely.
Just finally, I know we touched on this to an extent already, but with Wolves, they've got 2 caretaker managers in. Is there ever such a thing as a good time to play a team that's down there or struggling, managerless, lost 3 in a row?
Well, you could have asked us that about a few teams we've played recently. So no, I don't look too much into that. Because if you think like that, then that's when maybe complacency can kick in. And I mean, I look at Wolves and just see a load of good players and playing a really good way. That can have a big impact in games. But I thought the same about Villa, and I thought the same about the game before and the game before that. This is the league that we play in. So, respect the opponent and the players that they have and how they play, but more focus on, how we combat that and how we influence the game by being what we want to be in the game. And that's our work. Improvement to be made for sure. We'll continue to say that because we're not where we want to be in the league, and we're not the results haven't suggested that we could be better than that. So let's stand up and be counted and aim to improve both performances and results. Thank you. Cheers.
Steve, can I just check on this Niakhate? How close is he?
No, he's still very much in his rehab and nowhere near really consideration.
He would obviously have hopes to go to the World Cup with Senegal? Is that in doubt? Or was it in doubt?
I'm not sure at the moment. Obviously, I'm just thinking about him and Nottingham Forest, but that's far from being anywhere in our consideration at the moment. So he's very much with the medical team and going through the process with them.
Just Jack Colback, is he back?
Yeah, he's a bit in and out. He's just, as I said, he's struggling with his back, and it's a bit of a frustrating one for him really, because he can't quite get up to where he wants to be physically. So we're having to be careful with his management program at the moment, and hence him why not being too involved of recent, and that's still continuing, to be honest. Thanks.
ITV. No.
Yeah.
Lovely. Thank you.
Cool.
Cameras off then, please.
Thanks.